Hello, and it's good to see you again. Thanks ever so much for joining me on this third emergency rope work video. My name is Bob Wilson, I'm a rock climbing instructor and I'm working towards my MCI, my mountaineer and climbing instructor. I'm doing these videos really as a refresher for myself so that I know how to do the emergency rope work that I will need to do for my exam, but also hopefully you'll find them quite interesting as well. So what I'm going to look at today is a few different hoisting techniques. First one that I'm going to look at is how you hoist someone in an unassisted fashion. So imagine your partner has fallen and is unable to help themselves and you might want to hoist them up. It's a nightmare thing to do, and pretty much always you'll want to try and go down rather than bring somebody up. But if it's just for a short period, you may be able to use this. So this is the safe way of doing it, but as I say, it's very unlikely that you'd have to or be able to use it in actual fact. So in order to do a safe unassisted hoist, first thing that you have to do, as always, is lock off your belay plate. I've shown this on my previous videos, so I'm not going to show you again, but essentially lock off your belay plate. The next thing that you want to do is for pretty much for all of your hoists on a standard belay setup is that you need to set yourself a clutch so that the rope doesn't slip back down once you pull it back up. So to do that, you put a normal prusik on the rope close to your belay device. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 turns perhaps. And it's a normal prusik because it's got to be releasable under load. And then you clip both ends of that into your belay carabiner. Okay, so you're essentially bypassing your belay carabiner with the clutch. You can now set up a further prusik further down the rope, down the live rope that is, down towards your mate, the rope that you want to pull up. So you set a further prusik, and this one can be a clem heist because you really want this one to grip. You don't want it to slip at all. You don't want any chance of it slipping really. So you set this one up as a clem heist, which is essentially you wrap around the rope several times and then you bring it back up through the first loop. So at this point you can start to untie your tied off belay plate. Having untied that, you then take the dead rope and you put it through your clem heisted prusik and you push that as far down the rope as you possibly can. Push it as far away from you as you possibly can. Okay, you want to just check that all your prusiks are holding, and then using all your might, because it will take a huge amount. I've got quite a low weight on this, but using all your might, try to pull up that prusik. And as you can see, it pulls up, and then your clutch will lock. If there was decent weight on it, it would lock completely on its own. When I'm doing it with this weight, then I have to lock it. Locks on its own, and then again you just unload your clem heist, push it as far away down the rope as you can, and heave the rope back up. Okay, and you just continue that until you've got your casualty within reach, or you've managed to get them over the problem that they needed to be hoisted over. Having done an unassisted hoist, one way that you can get a little bit more help is if your mate is within reach of a loop of rope and is still conscious, or this one is really good if you just want to get somebody over a little bit that they can't climb. So you've led up something and your mate can't quite climb the crux, so you can use this assisted hoist to do that. So again, first thing is you tie off your belay device, you put your clutch in as we did before. So that's just a normal prusik, and you take both ends and you clip them into your belay carabiner. So you've got a clutch across your belay device. Then what you do is you slide a carabiner down to your mate, tell them to clip it onto their rope loop. So clip it onto their rope loop, and then you send them a loop of rope down and tell them to clip that loop of rope through the carabiner that you just sent them, the one that's on the rope loop, taking the slack from the end that you've got, and then you can untie your tied off belay device, make sure that the prusik loads okay, taking all the slack as quick as you can, never letting go of the dead rope as always, taking the slack. And then the instruction that you want to give to your mate down at the end is to pull down on the down rope. So he or she they pull on the down rope, so they pull the down rope, you pull the up rope, and together you've got a mechanical advantage now. Together you can get quite a bit of heft onto the system and pull them up. All the time you're protected by the Prusic that's across the Belay device as a clutch. Third hoist that I'd like to look at is if you're set up in guide mode, and this just takes a stage out of the system, so it makes it a little bit quicker really. So if you're set up in guide mode, you've got no need for a clutch, because in guide mode the Belay device itself acts as a clutch, so it can't slip backwards. So what you're going to do, because you want to initially take your hands off the rope, you're going to have to tie a knot in it. Okay, so tie a knot just as a backup, so that if anything was to go horribly wrong, that knot would hold and would stop the system from failing entirely. Okay, so again, what you want to do is you want to put a climb heist further down your rope. So a climb heist again is you just wrap the rope round several times, really neat, and then you take the loop back up, the end loop back up through the start loop, clip a carabiner into that. Okay, and with a climb heist it won't release under load, so you can't release this one under load. And so we simply take the dead rope through the carabiner, push the climb heist as far away as we can. Remember to take that backup knot out, otherwise you'll find yourself in all sorts of different trouble. So take your backup knot out, take in the slack, and then you can heave. You can just pull up the rope as best you can. As I say, it'll be really tough, it'll be really difficult. If any of you have ever tried this, the losses in the system, the friction in the system make it nigh on impossible, but it is possible, especially if the person is hanging in free air. So this is the fourth one, just to finish off the set. So you've got your Belay device in guide mode, and you're going to do an assisted hoist. So this time what you want to do is you want to put a backup knot in your dead rope, just so that you can take your hands off the system, and slide down your carabiner to your mate down the rope. If you've got any gear between you and your mate, you won't be able to slide it down, obviously, and this applies obviously to the first assisted hoist. And so what you want to do then is you want to pass the carabiner down with the loop of rope that you send down to them as well. So either way, you just need to get the carabiner down to your mate. So you get the carabiner down to your mate, tell them to clip it onto their rope loop. You then get them a loop of rope all the way down from your guide plate, from the dead rope on the guide plate down to them, and then you take out the backup knot, and it's the same thing again. You pull on the rope that comes up from them, they pull on the rope that goes down to them, and the guide plate acts as a clutch, and so stops them from slipping back down again. Okay, so that's the full set of 4. So you've got an assisted hoist and an unassisted hoist, whether you're using a Belay device in normal climbing mode or whether you're using it in guide mode. Hope that you found this video helpful in some way and easy to understand. If you get any questions, then put them in the comments, and please do give me a thumbs up and share these videos as wide as you can so that we can get our subscriptions up. I'm really pleased that we're up at 9. Let's see if we can get up into double figures. Thanks ever so much. Take care. Bless you. Bye bye.